Khaqani, the poet of puzzles. Welcome to our English learning series. Imagine a poet who uses difficult language. He creates new and strange words. His words are like a big puzzle. His poems surprise readers. But his puzzles were not only about words. They were about life and how to live well. He taught that true honor comes from humility, not from seeking glory. People still learn from his lesson. This master of words was Khaqani. Did you know about the poet of creative meanings? He was a brilliant and complex Persian poet. He was a master of the qasida, a long, formal poem. He was also a great philosopher. He was a man full of both pride and pain. He lived in the 12th century. He lived at the same time as the great storyteller, Nizami Ganjavi. This was during the time of the great Seljuk Empire. He lived in a region called Sharvan. This region is in today's Azerbaijan. He showed the world a powerful new style of poetry. He was a great innovator, someone who brings new ideas. He mixed science, religion, and philosophy in his poems. His poems are like a deep and beautiful ocean. People call him a challenging poet. This is because his poems are not easy to understand. You must think very hard about his words. But inside his difficult words, there are great treasures. These treasures are his brilliant ideas about life. Khaqani's life was a story of great ambition. He wanted to be the greatest poet of his time. He was very proud of his talent. But his life was also full of sadness and loss. He was a great poet for a difficult time. Khaqani was born in Sharvan. His family had a mixed background. His father was a simple carpenter. His mother was a Christian who later became a Muslim. This mix of cultures had a big influence on him. Because of his mother's background, Khaqani knew a lot about Christianity. He is one of the few Persian poets to use Christian ideas. He often wrote about Jesus Christ in his poems. He used these stories to teach spiritual lessons. This made his poetry very unique and special. Like many poets, Khaqani started his career as a court poet. He worked for the rulers of Sharvan, the Sharvanches. He was very young but extremely talented. He wrote powerful poems to praise the rulers. He quickly became the most famous poet in the kingdom. But Khaqani was very proud and ambitious. He felt that the small court of Sharvan was a prison. He believed his genius was bigger than this small kingdom. He wanted to see the world. He wanted to be famous everywhere. Khaqani had a great dream. He wanted to travel to Mecca. This was a very long and dangerous journey. He also wanted to visit the great city of Baghdad. Baghdad was the capital of the Islamic world and a center of knowledge. On his way, he saw something that changed him forever. It was the magnificent ruins of an ancient Persian palace. It was the great arch of Ctesiphon, Tak Kasra. This was the capital of the Sasanian Empire. It was a symbol of ancient Persian glory. He stood before the great ruin and felt deep sadness. He wrote his most famous poem here, the Elegy of Ctesiphon. The poem begins with a powerful call. "O heart, come and learn a lesson from what you see. Let the palace of Maduin be a mirror of lessons for you. Madawan was the Arabic name for this great capital city. The poem then asks a very sad question about the kings. He writes, "You asked, where have those powerful kings gone now?" Then he gives a powerful answer. He says the earth is forever pregnant with them. This means the kings are all buried, and only dust remains of their glory. This journey was a turning point for Khaqani. He saw the great centers of the world. He also saw that all worldly power is temporary. He returned a wiser and more thoughtful man. But more trouble was waiting for him. Khaqani had a difficult life and was often betrayed. In one poem, he talks to another person. Maybe he is talking to himself. He asks a very important question. He asks, who is a true friend in this difficult world? First, Khaqani gives a strong warning. He says to be careful of false friends. A friend who has a selfish reason is not real. You should not count them as a true friend. This was his first important lesson on trust. Next, Khaqani teaches how to test someone. He says to ask them a question. If a powerful person says, "I am your friend," ask them this. How do you define friendship? What are your rules? This simple question begins the test. Then, he explains the two different kinds of friends. A false friend loves you only when you are strong. They will leave you when you become weak. A true friend is the opposite. They lift you up when you fall. Finally, Khaqani gives the highest tests. A true friend must forgive your mistakes. They should forgive you, just as God does. They must also protect you from your enemies. This kind of friend is a rare treasure. After his difficult experiences, Khaqani developed a deep philosophy. He saw that life was a puzzle of numbers. In one of his poems, he talked about the number 4. He said, "The world is built on the number 4. For example, there are 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air." He continued his idea about the number 4. He said, "A strong house is also built on 4 walls." 4 is the number of a complete and stable foundation. But then, he asked a very clever question. He asked about the parts of a happy life. Here, Khaqani gives his surprising and sad answer. He said, "The parts of a happy life are only 3. These are the right place, the right time, and good friends." They did not say a 4th, he wrote, because there is no 4th. This means that the 4th part, perfect and complete happiness, is always missing in our world. When Khaqani returned to Sharvan, his enemies were waiting. They were jealous of his fame and talent. They told lies about him to the ruler. The ruler became angry with Khaqani. He threw the great poet into prison. Khaqani spent a long time in a dark prison. He was alone and full of sadness. He wrote some of his most powerful poems here. These poems are called Habsiyat, prison poems. They are full of pain, anger, and loneliness. He finally left Sharvan forever and moved to Tabriz. Khaqani's poems are full of wisdom and deep feeling. He used his brilliant mind to explore many topics. His words are like a treasure chest of ideas. Here are a few of his other famous ideas. In the slaughterhouse, a place where people kill animals for food of love, they only kill the best. They do not kill the ugly, fox-like people. This means true love is a difficult path. It is a test for only the bravest souls. Khaqani says that a life without the pain of true love is worthless. This is a powerful mystical idea. Do not approve of yourself. Be the one that everyone approves of. Accept your flaws and be useful to all people. This teaches us about humility. True greatness is not about being proud. It is about helping others and being kind. This is a beautiful lesson for life. This existence is nothing. This life is also nothing. This ancient house is also nothing. The only real thing is youth, but youth is also nothing. This is a deep philosophical idea. It means all worldly things are temporary. They pass away like a dream. We should not hold on to them too tightly. Khaqani died in the great city of Tabriz, Iran. His tomb is in a famous cemetery called the Akbarat Shuara. This means the mausoleum of poets. He is buried there with many other great poets. It is a place of great honor and respect. Khaqani is one of the most important poets in Persian history. He created a new, powerful, and difficult style of poetry. He was a true genius of language. He showed that poetry could be a place for science, philosophy, and deep personal feeling. He had a huge influence on the great poets who came after him. That is why Khaqani will always be celebrated. He is the master of the difficult poem. He is the poet of pride and pain. And he is the brave voice who took poetry to a new and higher level. Thank you for learning about Khaqani with us. Which of Khaqani's powerful ideas did you find most interesting? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more videos about Persian culture and history.